Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is repeating history, playing out a massive bullish breakout from this bullish pattern, while the price is also breaking out above this final significant area of resistance. But in the short term, a new signal is showing up that we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, which is also breaking out above significant resistance, and Solana, which is continuing the bullish breakout from this bullish pattern. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just taking a quick look at the Bitcoin ETF news today, because just over the last one day, BlackRock bought another approximately 4,300 Bitcoin worth well over $200 million US, once again, just in the last one day. And so as of right now, BlackRock is currently holding nearly 110,000 Bitcoin, as we can see here on BlackRock's own website. Once again, they're holding around 109,609 Bitcoin worth over $5.65 billion US. And so once again, as I've explained in much more detail in previous videos here on the channel, like my last video here on the channel, of course, this is resulting in massive buying pressure for Bitcoin, causing the Bitcoin price to go much higher. And if we're taking a look at the outflows from Grayscale, of course, just yesterday, we saw Grayscale sell another approximately 2,900 Bitcoin worth around $150 million US. And so obviously, this is not much Bitcoin being sold by Grayscale compared to the amount of Bitcoin that's being bought by BlackRock. And even if Grayscale sells a little bit more Bitcoin than usual, due to potentially Genesis selling around $1.3 billion worth of GBTC, which could result in Grayscale dumping more Bitcoin. Of course, even if they dump another $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, that's only a few days worth of buying pressure from BlackRock. And so even if we see $1 billion worth of selling pressure from Grayscale, once again, that's really nothing anymore compared to the amount of Bitcoin that's being bought by BlackRock and also other Bitcoin ETFs. If we're looking at just yesterday, we saw a total net inflow of around $340 million US, new money coming into Bitcoin and buying up Bitcoin. And once again, this is the net inflow. So this is also factoring in those outflows from Grayscale. And so once again, around $250 million of new money just came in just yesterday, just in the last one day, into Bitcoin to buy up Bitcoin. And so with this going on, honestly, it's very hard to be bearish. It's very hard to expect any decent pullback, because there's hundreds of millions of dollars every single weekday buying up more and more Bitcoin. And so honestly, for anyone hoping for a pullback, your only hope is really perhaps on a weekend when the stock market is closed and the Bitcoin ETFs are not trading. Possibly on a weekend sometime, we could end up seeing some sort of pullback. But while this is going on, while there's hundreds of millions of dollars pumping into Bitcoin every single weekday, of course, it's very hard to see any decent pullback. And I did tweet this out over on my Twitter, basically saying that I've been reading the comments on these YouTube videos, and a lot of people just recently have been saying that we're going to top out at around 50 to 51K or so, and then dump back down. We're going to see a massive dump. A lot of people are really saying that. And once again, short-term bearish price action is always a possibility. Of course, nothing's impossible, but that shows that a lot of people are still sidelined. A lot of people are still hoping for lower prices. And that's actually really good news for everyone else that's already holding Bitcoin, because usually when there's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines, a lot of those people ultimately end up FOMOing into Bitcoin at much higher prices, which continues the bull market higher and higher. Because usually the price of Bitcoin and the overall markets go where the maximum pain is. So if there's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines, then obviously it would be very painful if Bitcoin just goes higher and higher. So as I said here, the path of maximum pain is up, because a lot of people are still sidelined, hoping for lower prices. And now, once again, it's always possible we can see short-term pullbacks and things like that, but overall, it's hard to be bearish with hundreds of millions of dollars of new money coming into Bitcoin and buying Bitcoin every single weekday. And not to mention, in just 2 months from now, we're going to have another Bitcoin halving, which has historically caused major bull markets following the halving. So there's really not many people interested in selling a lot of Bitcoin right now, but there's a lot of buying pressure. And so as I've been saying over and over again here on the channel, despite what's happening on the Bitcoin price charts, fundamentally speaking, we are looking extremely bullish for the coming months and years. But anyway, taking a look at the Bitcoin price charts, looking at the weekly time frame, and like I said in my last video, we're now seeing the price of Bitcoin attempt a breakout above the all-important golden pocket area of resistance, sitting in between around 48,000 to 50,000. And now technically we still need to see a weekly candle close above 50,000 to confirm this breakout, and the next weekly candle close is in roughly around 3 days from now. And if we do end up confirming this weekly candle close above 50,000, then honestly, we could see a very quick move from 50K up to the all-time high, close to $70,000 in the coming weeks or months. Because really between now and the all-time high in terms of Fibonacci levels of resistance, there's only this 78.6% Fibonacci level of resistance, which is sitting at around 57 to 58,000. So we could find some resistance around those levels. But ultimately, the 78.6% Fibonacci level is not as significant as the golden pocket, which means if we confirm this breakout above 50,000 with a weekly candle close above 50K, then like I just said, we could potentially see a quick move up to all-time highs in just a few weeks or months. And if we're zooming out further on this weekly Bitcoin chart, right now we're still playing out this massive bullish cup and handle pattern that I actually talked about here on the channel right near the breakout, sitting closer towards $30,000. And so once again, as I've been saying here on the channel, since this breakout all the way back down here at $30,000, that set up a bullish price target for this pattern, which was sitting at around $60,000. And so obviously, if you've been watching my videos for the last few months, you're doing very well right now if you took this trade, or if you simply just bought some more Bitcoin at this breakout, obviously you're doing very well. But if we're taking a look at what previously happened, we also saw a major cup and handle pattern that started forming all the way back here in 2018 and eventually broke out to the upside during 2020. And basically the moment we saw a breakout above this major price range right here, that basically started the next significant bull market, and the price continued even higher beyond that technical price target. And so once again, even though 60,000 is a technical price target for this pattern, of course, that does not mean that that is the top of this bull market. Of course, we could continue a lot higher like what we saw last time. And so despite what happens on smaller timeframes, once again, it's always possible to see short-term pullbacks and things like that. But despite what's happening on smaller timeframes, if we're looking at the larger timeframes, the bigger picture here, we're clearly looking very bullish. We're clearly entering into a major bull market. And if we're taking a look at the 3-day Bitcoin chart, right now we are still playing out that massive volatile move to the upside that I've been talking about every single day since 2 days before it actually started. And so once again, as I've been saying here in these videos on this channel since around 42 to 43,000, I've been saying that very soon in the coming 1 to 2 weeks, we're going to see the price of Bitcoin go up towards around 51 to 55,000 just within around 1 to 2 weeks. And so far, this is playing out exactly as expected. And now sometime soon, considering we're entering into that target range in between 51 to 55K, sometime soon we could see the end of this volatile move. But that does not mean that we cannot go even higher, because for example, if we're looking at previous examples here on the chart, we saw these extremely volatile moves to the upside, and then the price continued drifting further to the upside even after that extremely volatile move was finished playing out. And so if we're looking at this previous example right here, if something similar played out, then obviously that's this volatile move that is now playing out. And then after that volatile move finishes, we could still potentially drift further to the upside. And especially because right now we still have a lot of bullish momentum in the Bitcoin price. If we're looking at the daily Bitcoin MACD right now, this is still showing a lot of bullish momentum, as I've been talking about every single day since these much lower prices. And so once again, on much smaller timeframes, of course, it's always possible to see short-term pullbacks and things like that. But overall, especially on larger timeframes, we're clearly looking very bullish, especially in terms of the trend and momentum. And just before talking about some other important price charts, if you want to take these trades to maximize your profits in crypto, no matter if the price is going up or down, personally, I take those trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, you can get up to a $30,000 deposits bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And also right now, there's an exclusive Apple Watch Series 9 giveaway happening over at Bitflex if you use the link down below this video. Because that link in the description and in the pinned comment will take you to this page right here where you can sign up to Bitflex if you want to and deposit $100 worth of crypto and to make one trade on the derivatives market over at Bitflex, and that will enter you in the running for this brand new Apple Watch Series 9 into this giveaway. And so if you're trading crypto anyway, giveaway, or if you're preparing to take the next trade, you might as well check out those links down below this video, either Bybit or Bitflex, to get those extra bonuses or enter this giveaway over at Bitflex. But anyway, getting back into the Bitcoin chart, like I said earlier, on the larger timeframes, like the daily timeframe and anything bigger than that, we're clearly looking bullish, especially in terms of the trend and momentum. But if we're zooming into the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, we can see just on a smaller time frame that right now we're still potentially forming a new bearish divergence. Because as of right now, the price of Bitcoin is still forming higher highs in the candle closes, while the RSI is still currently forming lower highs. And now this would be completely invalidated if we see a breakout in the RSI above this previous high, because obviously if we have higher highs in the RSI and higher highs in the price, that means they're not diverging. And so as of right now, this is just something to pay attention to, but at least for now, it is not yet confirmed. And even if it does confirm, it's likely going to play out in the form of either choppy sideways price action or possibly a slight short-term pullback. But once again, with hundreds of millions of dollars worth of buying pressure coming into Bitcoin every single weekday, it's unlikely that this is really going to mean all that much if BlackRock is buying these large amounts of Bitcoin every single weekday. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, right now we do have some liquidity building up again to the upside, sitting in between around 52.7K to 52.9K. And so at least in the short term, the price is likely going to go towards that price range, considering the price is usually attracted towards these areas of liquidity. And now if we do end up seeing that short-term bearish divergence actually play out, perhaps on the weekends when we don't have that extra buying pressure from the ETFs, because the ETFs do not trade on the weekend, then in that case, looking at some potential downside liquidity, we do have some liquidity sitting at around 51.1K to 51.2K. And so those are the short-term levels to watch. But once again, in terms of the trend and momentum, we're clearly looking more bullish than bearish. And if we're taking a look at the Ethereum to US dollar chart on the weekly time frame, right now we are still attempting that major breakout from this significant area of resistance, which is the golden pocket, sitting in between around 2540 going up towards around 2680. But just like Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, we still need to confirm at least a weekly candle close above ideally 2.7K in order to confirm this breakout. And once again, the next weekly candle close is in a little over 3 days from now. So perhaps in 3 days from now, we could confirm this breakout. And in that case, the next level of resistance on the weekly time frame is sitting in between around 3.4K to 3.5K based on this Fibonacci level and this previous high. And if we're taking a look at the daily time frame, once again, as I've been saying every single day over the last 2 weeks or so, we're clearly looking at a lot of bullish momentum right now here in the daily Ethereum MACD. And so once again, as I've been saying over and over again here on the channel, of course, it's still possible to see short-term pullbacks and things like that. But overall, the overall market at the moment is simply heading higher and higher because we have a lot of bullish momentum pushing the price higher and higher. And also just recently on the 8-hour time frame, we've now confirmed a breakout above this previous high, which was acting as a bit of short-term resistance, and that was a price range in between around 2680 going up towards around 2720. And so as of right now, that should now act as new support in case we end up seeing any sort of short-term pullback. Once again, I would expect support around those prices. And obviously, if you've been watching my videos over the last 1 to 2 weeks or so, you would know that I've been longing the price of ETH since all the way back down around here, as I've actually been saying here on the channel since the price was all the way back down there. And so obviously, if you also followed along with this Ethereum long position, if you entered this long position anywhere near where I entered, obviously right now you're doing very well. So congrats if you did that. And once again, I take those trades over on Bybit, link down below if you want to maximize your profits and get those extra bonuses. Once again, use that link for those extra bonuses. And as always, if you want to stay up to date on my personal trading strategy, the trades that I'm taking in the markets, make sure you stay subscribed to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos every single day. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the 8-hour time frame, of course, right now, as of recording this video, we're continuing the bullish breakout from this bullish inverse head and shoulders pattern, and we broke out at around $105 to $107. And the moment we confirmed that breakout, and especially once we confirm that successful retest, that further confirms the fact that we have a bullish price target for this pattern right here, which is sitting at around $133. And once again, as I shared here on the channel in these videos, as soon as we saw this breakout, I said I'm I'm entering into a Solana long position to trade this move to the upside with even more buy orders sitting closer towards this retest. So basically, if we saw that retest, which we did end up seeing, that would simply trigger more buy orders and increase the size of that long position, which is exactly what has happened. And so once again, right now, I'm still holding that Solana long position, trading this move to the upside, and already I have my stop loss for this trade sitting in slight profits. So in the worst case scenario, if we crash right now, that will just trigger my stop loss in slight profits and automatically exit me out of the trade in slight profits, avoiding any losses. And once again, if you want to take trades just like this to maximize your profits in crypto, once again, I trade over on Bybit, link down below if you want to take trades just like myself. But it is important to understand that between right now and this bullish price target, we also have some other levels of resistance. For example, right around this previous high, right at the week high, we have some short-term resistance at around $117, as we can see just here. And if we see a move further to the upside above $117, then in that case, our next short-term resistance should be sitting at around $123 based on these previous candle closes, and more resistance at around $126 based on this previous candle wick high. And once we see a breakout above $126, then once again, we'll likely just head straight up towards this price target at around $133. And if you want to know how you can actually take these trades in the price of Solana or any other crypto, no matter if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can open and close long positions and short positions to profit if the price is bullish or bearish. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.